So I'm just gonna say like, welcome to episode 1, Cambio.
Yeah. Wait. I'm thinking we should
We should change clothes.
What, like Cambio? It's like change.
No, like so that it looks like we're doing this at like a different time.
No, this is fine.
Okay. Welcome to episode 1, Cambio.
Wait.
We're supposed to like say it at the same time.
Okay.
Welcome to Collectors.
Wait, I was gonna say Jacob and
Wait.
how about I say?
Yeah, you say it. Okay.
Welcome back to Jacob and Andrew, Collectors of Fun. Once again, I'm Andrew.
And I'm Jacob.
What game are we playing today, Jacob?
We're playing Cambio, which is a Spanish card game that I learned from my cousin after her study abroad trip to Spain.
That's incredible. How do you play Cambio?
Okay, so it's not that hard to play, but it seems like it's hard to play because there's a lot of rules, but they're really easy to remember. So the first thing you have to remember is that the goal of the game is to have the least amount of points. And points are accumulated by the amount of cards that you have in your pile. So these are the different 4 piles, and at the start of the game, you're going to look at your front 2 cards, and you have to remember them. So this is a memory strategy game. And the game ends when one person uses their entire turn to call Cambio. Calling Cambio is just when you don't draw a card, and you say Cambio, and then each of your opponents gets one more turn to play, and they have to beat you by getting less points.
Wait, I'm sorry. So you have to remember a few of the cards, but then you can... Wait, so you remember some of the cards, but you don't know other cards.
Exactly. So there's cards...
It's a mystery.
It is a mystery.
Okay.
So you have to use the special abilities of cards that you draw from the face-down pile in order to figure out what your other cards are.
Okay.
And replace your cards with increasingly better cards.
Okay, so I can just flip this. I have a 7.
Yeah, so let's say at the start of the game, you wouldn't flip your front 2 cards over because you don't want your opponents knowing what they are, but you know that you have a 7 and a 9, and then I look at my cards, and I have a 2 and a jack, right?
Lovely.
So this doesn't mean anything to you right now, right? Because we haven't talked about the point system. So the goal of the game is to get the least amount of points, and points are scored as follows.
Oh, okay.
Aces are worth 1 point. 2s are worth 2 points, 3s are worth 3 points, and so on up until 10. And then all the face cards except for the red king. So the red king would be the king of hearts or the king of diamonds.
Or the king of diamonds. Okay.
Yeah, all the rest of them are worth 10 points. So any jack is worth 10 points, any queen is worth 10 points, and the black kings are also worth 10 points.
Okay.
Right? But
complicated game.
No, it's not that complicated.
Okay.
It's really
approachable.
I'm ready. I taught this to middle schoolers today, so if middle schoolers can learn it, you can too.
I hope I can.
Yeah. So the red king is worth -1 points, so it's like the best card.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how do I get the red king?
So the way that you get the red king is as follows. So if the face up pile, that's the discard pile, if that has a red king on it and it's your turn, you can just take that card. Let's pretend this is the red king, and you can replace it with any one of your 4 cards. So let's say that you really don't like this 9, right? And you like this card here. You would just replace it with this one, and you put this face down.
Wait, so are they all face down right now? Or are they all...
So...
They've been face up.
So none of them are actually face up. We're just showing it to the camera so that they know what cards we have. So they can assess the strategy.
I understand.
But normally you would want them to be face down so your opponent can't see them, because some of the cards' abilities will let your opponents take advantage of knowledge that they have about your cards.
All right.
Right? So the way that a turn works is you can either take from the face up pile or you can take from the face down pile. If you take from the face up pile, you have to replace it with one of your 4 cards. You just have to.
You have to.
Yeah, but if you take it from the face down pile, you get some options, right?
Okay. So it adds a bit of an element of choice.
Exactly. So the first choice is do nothing. So you just discard that card and you basically didn't do anything with your turn.
Okay.
Yeah. The next option is you replace with one of your 4 cards as if it's one of the face-up cards, or it's from the face-up discard.
Yeah.
Right? And then the last option is you can play special abilities. So not all cards have these special abilities, but the ones that do are pretty important, and knowing these special abilities is really how you get an edge over your opponent.
Okay, now give me the rundown on these special abilities, buddy.
Okay, so 7s and 8s of any suit they all have the special ability that allows you to look
So,
at
like-
one of your 4 cards.
So this one.
Yeah, but you have to draw it from the face down pile.
Oh, okay.
And in order to play it, you would just let's pretend for a second that this is the card on top, right?
Uh-huh.
And I draw it, right? I have this 7.
Okay.
And all I have to do is discard the 7, and then I can play its special ability. So 7s and 8s have the special ability that allows you to look at one of your 4 cards once. So I've never known what this card is because I only saw these at the start of the game, but now I can look at it, and I know that this is a red king, right? The best card in the game.
Oh my god.
Exactly. So that
What
was
a
really
lucky
good.
guy.
So now I'm not going to get rid of this card.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep it so that I can have it by the end of the game so
Okay.
I can win, right? But 9s and 10s, they have a different special ability. 9s and 10s let you look at one of your opponent's cards, right?
Okay, let's look for some 9s and 10s in here. That's an 8. That's a queen. That's 6. That's a 3.
We have
It's an
no
ace.
setup
That's
beforehand
a 5.
because
That's a 6.
we want to show you how
Seven.
easy it is
Oh,
to play.
It's a 10.
Okay.
10.
Okay. So let's say that Andrew drew this 10, right?
Yeah, let's just forget about all those other cards.
Yeah, they don't exist.
Yeah.
They're not real.
You're a real one for watching this podcast, though.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Wait, tell me about the 10.
Okay, so the 10. So if Andrew drew this 10, he could discard it, and now he can look at one of my 4 cards, right? So let's say that he chooses to look at this card because he doesn't know what it is and he's curious. Now he knows this is a -1, right? This is
Okay.
the best card in the game.
It's the best card of the game,
So-
and I want it.
He wants this card. So let me get into how he can get it,
Oh.
right? So if you draw from the face down pile a jack or a queen, you can do what's called a blind swap.
Okay, I have a
That's
queen
where
right
you
here.
replace one of your 4 cards with one of your opponent's 4 cards, but you can't look at either of them.
So
right?
if I draw this queen, I'm like, oh my god, I have a queen opportunity time. I
Yeah.
play it, then I can say, all right, blind swapped. Give me that king.
Exactly.
You get whatever card that is.
Mhm.
Now I'm in the lead.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And if you know that one of your 4 cards, because you use an 8 or a 9, or you just saw it at the start of the game, is like really bad, like for example, it's a face card that's worth 10 points,
Oh no.
or it's a 9, or it's a 10, then you can blind swap your really bad card with a card that you don't know that they have, or with one of the cards that you've already seen is really good because they took it from the face up pile in order to put it in their cards, so you would remember that, or because you used an 9 or a 10 in order to look at one of their 4 cards.
All right.
So that's really the use of the 9 or the 10. I've played this game like maybe 30 times just today, and one thing that really goes over people's heads is how useful the 9s or the 10s are. I see middle schoolers just discard them, don't play the ability because they're like, who cares?
Foolish.
Fools. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Wait, we don't. Not that middle schoolers are fools.
Middle schoolers are awesome,
They're
but
learning.
they're learning. And this podcast is going to help them figure out how to effectively use 9s and 10s.
You're gonna learn too.
Exactly. So the last thing is the Black King. The Black King has the best ability in the game,
Ooh.
which is called an Informed Switch.
Point informed switch.
So it's just like the blind switch,
Let's look
except
for it.
you get to look at one of your 4 cards, one of your opponent's 4 cards, and you can choose whether or not to swap it. So let's say that I look at one of my 4 cards and it's this 4, and I look at one of my opponent's 4 cards and it's this jack. I don't want to swap it because their jack sucks. It's worth 10 points. My 4 is worth 4 points. You want less points. So I would just leave it. But even though I wasn't able to do a swap with it, right? Even though after I play this, I'm not able to swap the cards, I at least know what one of my cards is and what one of my opponent's cards is.
Okay.
So that's like playing a 7 or an 8 and a 9 or a 10 all in one turn,
Mhm.
which is really awesome, right? And that's it for the abilities of cards. But there's one more game element that's really important, which is flipping your cards or matching your cards with one of the cards in the discard pile. So if you suspect at any point in the game that one of your 4 cards is the same as the top card of the discard pile, it doesn't even have to be your turn. It can be your opponent's turn. And it can still be your turn, and this doesn't take up your turn, by the way. You can flip one of your 4 cards onto it, and you get rid of that pile forever.
All right.
So, let's pretend for a second. Let's use our imagination here.
Oh.
Let's pretend for a second that I had the king here, and the 6 is on the top of the discard pile, right?
Okay.
And I've seen this 6. Maybe I played a 7 or an 8, or maybe I took it and replaced it. So I know that this is a 6, and I know that this is also a 6. What I would do is I would flip it, so it starts face down. I would flip it onto here, and I get rid of that pile forever.
So it's for everybody else has 4 piles, and you just have 3.
Exactly. And
So you're in the lead now. basically.
Probably. Yeah.
Probably. Okay. So
I've been taking a lot of math classes, and I've learned from them that 3 is less than 4.
amazing.
Lock in on your math
3 is
classes.
less than 4. Remember that.
Remember that, right? So now any card that was here and all the points associated with it are just gone forever.
It's
so
equal to 0.
exactly. So one way that people usually win games is by getting rid of one or more piles.
Mhm.
I've played games before where I've gotten rid of all of my 4 piles, and I won with 0 points.
But what if somebody else has the red king and they have -1?
Right, so that's the way that you beat someone that has no cards. You acquire a red king, and you get rid of all your other piles. So this has actually happened to me once. I had 0 points, and one of my opponents had 2 piles, and they both had red kings.
Oh, that's devious.
So they ended with -2 points, and I thought that I had it made the shade, but they beat me, even though they had 2 piles and I had no piles.
-2 is less than 0, guys.
Yeah.
Math is awesome, guys. Anyways, Cambio. Can we jump into a game?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, yeah. Instead of just explaining it, we're going to show you it.
Yeah.
Because actions are worth a lot of words.
True. All right, we're gonna do some editing magic, and we're gonna be playing the game by the time you 3, 2, 1. Yeah,
And by the time we're done playing the game, you'll know how to play yourself.
exactly.
Yeah,
We're editing this out.
we're editing this out.
We can say anything.
We can say anything.
Lizards are edible.
Okay.
I eat multiple lizards a day.
Awesome.
All right, we're gonna just play one round of Cambio, so that you guys can get a sense of the rules. And one quick thing, I forgot to explain a rule. When you're flipping a card onto the discard pile to get rid of one of your piles, only one person can do it, and they can only do it once.
Oh.
So if I know I have a 5, and you know you have a 5 too,
Yeah.
and I flip it, you don't want to flip yours.
Okay.
Because you are not going to get rid of a pile forever. And in fact, if you mess up the flips, meaning that either the card is different or you were the second person to do it, you get a new pile.
Oh, so that's like basically to prevent people from just keeping on flipping like, oh, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly, because otherwise, every single round I'd flip all 4 to try and get rid of a pile, even when I don't know what all my 4 cards are. And that would be really good because I could see my cards that I don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
But if you just flip them over willy-nilly, then you end up with a billion piles, and then you lose, basically.
Exactly. So you need to know for sure that you have the same card there, and you need to be fast with it. Because if you look at one of your 4 cards, like when trying to flip it, and another person gets theirs down first, then you have to take the new pile.
All right.
All right. So let's
play
get
this
into
game.
it.
Yeah, let's play this game.
I'm just gonna put my mic down.
Me too. These mics are not plugged in.
Yeah, they're non-functional.
Movie magic.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's go.
Okay, so we're gonna look at our front 2 cards once. So you have to memorize them from here. So I'm gonna tell you guys, and Andrew's gonna tell you guys just so that you can follow at home. But we're gonna pretend as though we did not hear each other.
Yeah. It's
So-
gonna be a mystery.
Yeah. So the card that I had here is this 7, and the card that I had here is this 3.
For me, I have at the bottom, on the left, I have an ace, and then I have a jack.
Right. So I want to get rid of this 7, and I want to keep this 3 because 3 is a lot better.
I want to get rid of this jack, and I want to keep this ace.
Yep. So I'm going to go first. And because this 5, it's kind of in a middle range where it's like, it's all right, but it's not great. I'm going to take from the top pile and take a gamble. So it's a 10. So I'm going to play the ability on the 10, and I'm going to see what one of your 4 cards are.
You don't know what these 2 cards are.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's a mystery.
It's a mystery. I don't know what it is. So, I'm going to look at this one. So this is an 8, but Andrew doesn't know that. He doesn't know
I don't know it. I don't know it.
Right. So I'm not going to want to swap with this 8 here because it's pretty bad.
Okay. Now I'm going to draw. Now,
Oh, show the camera.
I got a 3. So
Yeah.
this is a small card that I think I would want to keep in favor of instead of perhaps this jack, which is worth 10 points. So I'm going to covertly switch this 3 with this jack and put it over here.
Right. So I know I have a 7 and a 3 here. And so I know that I know that I don't have a jack, so I'm not going to swap it. I don't know what these 2 cards are yet. But if they're a jack, I wouldn't know. All right. So I drew another card that allows me to look at one of my opponent's cards. So I'm going to play this 9, and I'm going to look at another one of your cards. So I'm going to look at this one here. So this is a 10. So now I know that this one over here is. Have I forgotten it already? This one
Wait,
here.
I don't remember what that
this
is
is an
either.
8 and this is a 10.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So yeah. So
Wait, but I don't know that.
he doesn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know
This
that.
isn't confusing at all.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. What's your move, buddy?
Yeah, I played the cards. Your turn.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah.
All right, so I have a queen. What does a queen do again?
Okay. It's okay. So jacks and queens allow you to do the blind swap.
Okay.
So you take one of your 4 cards, you take one of your opponents, and you switch them. But you can't look at either of them.
Okay, so I'm going to do that. We're going to blindly swapping this card, which I don't know what it is, with this card that I also do not know what that is.
Yeah. So now I know this is an 8 because I remember I used my my 9 or 10 to find out earlier. So I know this is an 8, so if I see an 8 here, I can flip it. Otherwise, I just have this 7 and 3, and then an unknown card.
Amazing.
So I'm going to draw a card. This is another 8, right? So I know this is an 8, and I know that I have an 8 in my hand, so I'm going to do a really cool strategy where I play the 8, and then I flip my other 8 onto it, getting rid of that pile forever.
Oh, no.
And I can still play the ability of the 8, which is to look at one of my 4 cards. And now I know that this is a queen. So I know that I have a queen, a 7, and a 3. And usually during the game, I kind of repeat the cards that I have in my head over and over again so I don't forget them, because knowing what cards you have is really, really important in this game.
Okay, I know that I have an ace, I think, and then a 3 maybe. My memory isn't great. Anyways, time to flip this over. So I got a 10 of hearts, which means that I can do a...
You can look at one of my 4 cards.
I can
three
look at
cards
one
at
of
point.
his 3 cards.
Yeah.
So I'm going to look at this one very sneakily. It's a queen.
Oh my god.
Wait.
He didn't know that before, but now he does.
I do know that. I know that now. You've just learned this twice, but this is the first time that I've heard of it.
True.
Awesome.
Movie magic. All right, I'm going to draw a card. It's a blind swap. It's the jack. So I'm going to put this card down, and I remember that he swapped a card for this one earlier, meaning that this is probably all right. And I know that this is a queen, which is worth 10 points. So I'm going to swap these 2 cards, and now I have no clue what this is, but he does know what that is because he looked at it already. So now he knows that he has the ace and the queen.
An ace and a queen, one of the best cards and one of the worst cards in the game.
Yeah.
All right, time to flip this over. Ooh, big money. A 2. You know what I gotta do. I gotta swap that 2 for the queen. Now, I've got 2 of the best cards in the game right here, an ace and a 2.
All right, I'm going to draw another card. It's a 6. Sixes
oh my God.
are one of my least favorite cards in the game because they're so high. They're like they're the highest card with no ability.
Oh, that's
so they're essentially useless. But I know this is a 7 and this is a 3, and I know that this is like an all right card, right? So I'm going to get rid of the 7 in favor of the 6 because it's 1 lower.
Oh, okay. Very smart move.
Yeah.
Now it's my turn. I draw. Ooh. So I have a queen. You know what that means.
You know what that means, right?
Yes. It means that I can do a blind swap.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome. So I know that I have an ace and a 2. I want to keep those. So I'm gonna do a little gamble here. I'm gonna blindly swap this card for whatever this card is.
So that was the 6, but he doesn't know that.
I don't know that.
So I'm kind of okay with that, but now I don't know what this card is, and I want to figure it out. I also don't know what this card is, so I want to figure that out as well. Okay, I just got the best ability in the game. This is the Inform Swap, right? So I can look at one of my 3 cards at this point and one of his 4 cards.
Oh my God.
So I'm going to discard that, and I'm going to play its ability. So I don't know what this is, so I'm going to look at it. It's the 10, right? 10's terrible. I don't know. I don't really want that. And then I'm going to take this card, which I don't know what it is. It's a 4. 4 is way better than 10. I'm going to put the 4 here, and I'm going to leave Andrew with the 10.
Now that's what I call a deal. Anyways, now it's my turn. I got a 6. That's not great. And the only cards that I know that I have are the ace and the 2. So I'm just going to play and leave it at that.
Okay, I respect that. I'm going to draw a card. It's another 10. So I know that he has a 10, and I know that he knows that he has a 10 because you gave me the 10, right?
I don't remember that, but I trust you.
Yeah. So I don't know if I want to discard this card because I might think that he knows that he has a 10 and then he can get rid of a pile. So I might have to like bite the bullet and just keep this one.
Yeah, it's a mind game.
Yeah. And I've already forgotten what this one is. That's a 3. Wait, no, that's something that I don't know what it is. This is... I don't really know what my cards are.
You can see where this game gets a little difficult.
Yeah. So one thing that you really got to pay attention to is your cards. Otherwise, you're gonna replace it with
done.
bad stuff. Yeah.
You're done, basically.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna replace this with a 10. That was really unfortunate. I just got rid of my 3 for a 10, but now he can't get rid of a pile. So like that's the move.
Now I see that he has a 3 in the discard pile. Now I'm not sure we've done this yet, but I'm gonna take this 3 and exchange it for whatever card this is. So now I put that down and I realize that this is a 6.
Mm-hmm. And I now know that's a 3. So if there's a blind swap that comes by, I'm going to remember that and then I'm going to take his 3.
He's going to take it.
All right. So I got a 9, so I can look at one of my opponent's cards, right? I'm going to look at this one here. Ooh, now I know he has an ace. So I know that he has an ace and I know he's a 3. So he's beating me. So
he's
I need
found
to
my
take
ace
his
in the
stuff.
hole.
Yeah.
That's a good joke.
That's funny.
That's funny. A 5. Another not great card. So I'm just going to put it down and leave it at that.
All right. And I'm going to take this and it's a 3. That's a 10. That's a something. You know what? I don't remember, but I'm going to get rid of it. Okay, that
was a
paid
bad
off.
move.
That paid off.
What?
3 is lower than 4.
All right.
Shout out to Mr. Lee for educating this guy.
Okay. A 6 again. We're getting real lucky with the draws here.
Yep.
I'm just going to put that down and do nothing.
All right.
I'm going to bury my head.
I'm going to draw another card. It's a 9, so I can look at one of his cards again. But I like to live life on the edge, so I'm going to replace it with this card here. That's a 3.
That was not a good move.
That was not, but isn't this a 3?
Wait, hold on. Isn't this a 3?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Now the tables have been evened out. We both have 3 piles. It's anyone's game now.
I forget what all my cards are.
I think that, yeah.
But this is not good.
This is an ace.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. We'll figure it out.
We're really good at this game that we're explaining to you.
Anyways.
Wait. And one common misconception is that if you flip a card, that takes up your turn, but it actually doesn't.
Oh, wait.
So it's currently your turn.
Oh, it's my turn. Okay,
yeah.
Well, I'm about to draw. This is a 4. That's an okay card. So I'm going to swap this 4 with this card, which I don't know it is, and it was a 10, so it paid off.
All right.
My score has gone down by 6.
Ooh, it's a 5. I don't remember what any of my cards are. This is really embarrassing. That paid off.
That paid off.
If I remembered that was a 10, I could have flipped it. But okay, 5. No clue.
All right.
I've already forgotten.
Ace 2, 4, I think.
You're getting pretty low. You might want to call Cambio.
I might want to call Cambio, but I'm not going to because I want you guys to see this magic in action.
All right.
I'm turning over a card. This is a 5, and it's not a great card.
Wait, was this a 5?
What? I don't know.
It wasn't.
Okay.
Okay. So
you get a new pile.
I get a new pile because
I
forgot.
The table.
But now I know this is a 3, and I know this is a...
The scales are tipping in my way.
I don't know what this is.
I don't know
5.
what that is either.
Wait. Yes. Oh my god.
Oh my god. All right.
Okay, so 3 and I don't know. My turn.
1 step forward, 1 step
Ooh,
back.
it's a 2. Okay, this is good.
This is big money here.
3, 2. Okay, something I don't know. A 3. Wait, which one was which? 3, 2. I don't have short-term memory loss.
Okay, so we all know what our own cards are now.
Yeah. Wait, I don't know what this is. I just got it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well,
your
it's
turn.
a mystery. All right. Ooh, this is an 8, which I can use to look at
one of your own cards.
One of my own cards.
So again, remember, 7s and 8s are your own cards. 9s and 10s are one of your opponents. Jacks and queens, blind swap. Black kings are inform swap. And then the red kings are with -1.
Okay, maybe I'm just a forgetful guy, and I'm going to look at this again. I know that this is a 4. That's great.
Let's go. All right, I'm going to draw a card. Ooh, wait. I have a blind swap, and I have no clue what this card is, but I remember that that's an ace. So I'm going to swap it.
Ooh.
So now I know that I have an ace, a 3, and a 2.
That's a very good hand.
Yeah.
Now I am going to turn around, and I have the red king.
Ooh, that's the best
card in the game. So I'm going to take this mystery card, this potential, danger to my victory, and I'm going to replace it with this red king. It was a 4.
I hope he doesn't remember what.
Oh, wait a second.
Oh, okay.
A 4. Wow. Now I have 2 left.
Okay, I got a 7, so I can look at one of my cards, but I know all my cards, so wait. I'm gonna yeah, okay, that's good. That's a 3. Okay, so ace 3, 2. All right.
So perhaps now is the time for me to end the game.
So in order to end the game, you skip your draw step and you just say Cambio, and then your opponents all get 1 extra turn. So
Okay.
I would get another turn.
So I'm going to say Cambio because I know that I have a red king and a 2.
So 1 point in total.
1 point in total.
All right, now I'm going to draw a card. It's a 6. Okay, I'm going to lose,
We've
but
gone through almost all the 6s.
I'm going to get rid of that. And then we flip up our cards and we count them.
Wow.
You won.
I won.
So that's 1 point in total. And if you guys have been educated by our favorite math teacher, wait, we can't say who our favorite math teacher is because then they'll get offended. Yeah, 6 points because 1 + 3 + 2 is 6.
And this is -1 + 2, and that's 1.
So
and much like golf, the lower the better.
Exactly. So that was 1 round of the game. And yeah, now you should know how to play.
Now you know how to play your new favorite game.
Spread this game everywhere.
Spread this game everywhere to all your friends.
Everyone needs to know.
Everybody needs to know how to play Cambio so they can change up their lifestyles.
A lot of people are addicted to this game. Play it a couple more times and that might be you.
It could be you. This could be your new life in a good way.
Just, every day, you finish, your long day at work and, you just have to play Cambio.
Yeah.
It prevents you from living a normal life. You have to play.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right, Andrew, what do you rate the game out of 10?
I rate the game 7 Cambios out of 10 Cambios.
All right.
I think it's a fun game. You can get the sweet taste of victory and have a good time with your friends.
All right, thank you.
All right, Jacob, how many Cambios out of 10?
I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. And the reason for that is because it's a really versatile game. You can play it pretty much anywhere. All you need is a deck of cards. It's pretty easy to learn. Seems like there's a lot of rules, but once you play a couple rounds, you get the hang of it. And this can entertain people of all ages. Like my parents love this game. Just everyone's addicted to it.
All right, well, that's been the first episode of the
Jacob and
Andrew Collectors of Fun podcast.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys. Stay
We'll
tuned
see you in episode 2.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Signing out.
Bye.
Bye.